Kamu na bahala dirang magkuan.
Nakita siya?
Oo, makita.
Sige. I-start na ta ha. Wait lang. So, good evening everyone. For today's discussion, we are going to talk about the Analects, but first we will going to tackle about the life of Confucius. So, Confucius is a Chinese philosopher and politician of the spring and autumn period. The philosophy of Confucius, also known as Confucianism from his name, so emphasized personal and governmental morality, correctness of social relationships, justice, kindness, and sincerity. So he was born on September 28, 551 BC, and he was died on 11 on April 479 BC. So Confucius is also called by his nicknames such as extremely sage, departed teacher, laudably declarable Lord Ni, the first teacher, the great sage, the model teacher for the myriad ages. So, one of the notable ideas of Confucius is the Confucianism and the Golden Rule. And for his era is the ancient philosophy, and he has two children, which is Kong Li and Kong Rao. Confucius was born into a royal family of the Zhou dynasty. Confucius born near the end of an era known in Chinese history as the Spring and Autumn period. So for the overview of the story, the Analects is a collection of his thoughts and conversations on a range of topics, from leadership and education to wisdom and love, written and compiled within a century after Confucius' death. So the Analects was written by the disciples of Confucius after his death. Lu Shang, two versions of the Analects are the Lu and the Qi. It was all about the quotations and words of Confucius. It also includes 20 books, each generally featuring a series of chapters that encompasses quotes from him. So Emperor Cheng of Han, Zhang Yu synthesized the Lu and the Qi version. So before the late 20th century, the oldest existing copy of the Analects known to scholars was found in the Stein classics of the Xinping era. So there are two handwritten copies of the Analects. These are the Deng Zhuwu Analects and Yongyang Analects. So when we say Deng Zhuwu Analects, it was discovered on 1973. But remember, there is no transcription of its contents was published until the year 1997. Well, the Yongyang Analects, it was discovered in 1992. It has an academic access to the Yongyang Analects has been highly restricted. And also remember that there is no academic study on it was published until the year of 2009. There are four books in the Analects. So the first book serves as a general introduction to the various disciples in the work. Book 2 deals largely with issues of governance, while the book 3 and 4 are seen as the core text outlining Confucius' ideology. So there are additional terms in the work of the Analects. These are the Tao, Zhen, Te, Chuanzu, and Li. So first, we're going to talk about the Tao. Tao is also called as way. It is also refers to a literal path or road. It refers to the manner in which anything is done. It is also a method or a doctrine. Moving on to the gen, most often translated as goodness or humanity. Gen is also called the gentleman, which is the Chonzu possesses this quality, which is the goodness and humanity. So the text provides a good deal of context when discussing the gentleman and the goodness. Te itself corresponds most closely to the word virtue. It is a better definition here is to think of it as its character, which is the virtue or the prestige, an attribute that would have been desirable in the human being. So moving on to the Chonzu, it is a central term in the Analects. Chonzu is the gentleman is one of who follows the way and acts according to a system of morals and beliefs that are not common amongst other individuals. Lastly, we have this Li. It is another core concept in the text of the Analects. So Li is their importance is presented as paramount in the cultivation of Te and an understanding of the Tao. So let's go with the Analects. I will present the 15 most sayings of words of Confucius. So first, we have here, it does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not step. Um, this this saying was commonly used by many of us today. So for me, this means that keep moving no matter what pace it is. We all know that to progress in life, we need to act and continuously work towards achieving our goals. Even though we have the slow progress in life, we should keep moving forward so that we can succeed in our goals. Keep moving forward even if there are several obstacles in our way. So, second, life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. So, to make it simple, this means that just make everything as simple as possible, but not that simpler. So, for the third one, what you do not want done to yourself, do not do to others. These words are also called the golden rule and is central to most of religious faiths, right? This suggests that if your goals are not shared with others, the way you want to be treated will not be the way they want to be treated. Okay? So, number four, to be wrong is nothing unless you continue to remember it. It just means that don't sweat the small stuff because to be wrong is no great offense. Don't let actions of others ruin your day or external negativity into your thoughts. Just learn to forgive and move on to important things. Number five, when it is obvious that the goals cannot be reached, don't adjust the goals, adjust the action steps. This quote implies that maybe you should stop, look around, and try to figure out why things are going too slowly or so poorly. You should then evaluate the situation and try to come up with a better plan. Then you can get back to the working towards your goal. Take action and continue to work towards your goal. Number six, the will to win, the desire to succeed, the urge to reach your full potential. These are the keys that will unlock the door to personal excellence. What Confucius is trying to say here is that excellence comes from your desires. The desire to win, to succeed, to extend yourself, to reach your full potential. These are the beneficial side of the desire, the motivation to excel and more beyond your present level of activity. Number 7, our greatest glory is not in never failing, but in rising every time we fall. He described here that the journey that we all go through in life to succeed. He also highlighted the importance of persistence, just easy as that. Number 8, only the wisest and the stupidest of men never change. The word change here means the growth to ourselves, which means more success, happiness, and better health. If you think you don't need to change, then you better decide which one you are. It's either the wise or being stupid. Number 9, wherever you go, go with all your heart. When we say that we should carry our heart along with ourselves wherever we go, it simply means that you should do everything wholeheartedly. When you try to do something with all your heart, you are sure to achieve that in the long run. Number 10, choose a job you love and you will never have to work a day in your life. This statement is often attributed to the ancient Chinese sage Confucius, but the student considers this assertion because job choice flexibility was sharply limited to the era of Confucius. The opinion of the readers with a quotation might be divided because I think it's perfectly normal to love your job and simultaneously recognize the fact that it's hard work. Number 11, at 15, this is the quotation of from Confucius. At 15, I set my heart upon learning. At 30, I had planted my feet firm upon the ground. At 40, I no longer suffered from complexities. At 50, I knew what the bindings of heaven were. At 60, I heard them with docile ear. At 70, I could follow the dictate of my own heart, for what I desired no longer overstepped the boundaries of right. So, in this quote, Confucius outlines a life devoted to learning and the pursuit of Zen. It demonstrates that attaining the status of the gentleman or the superior man is a lifelong pursuit achieved only through a sincere devotion to self cultivation. Number 12, never disobey. So the master said it when Fan Chi was driving and asked him. He just replied with this quote. What the master trying to say is that while they are alive, serve them according to the ritual. When they die, bury them according to ritual and sacrifice to them according to ritual again. Number 13, when you know a thing, recognize that you know it. And when you do not know a thing, recognize that you do not know it. What he was trying to say here is that by nature, men are nearly alike. It is by custom and habit that they are set apart. When you have faults, do not fear to abandon them. 14. It is by poetry that one's mind is aroused. It, basi- it is by ceremonials that one's character is regulated. It is by music that one becomes accomplished. Confucius taught according to the Analects. He believed that the arts endowed people with grace and civility, two traits he felt necessary for peace and the contentment. For the last Analects, study the past if you would define the future. So this quote means if you want to change the future and be a better person, you have to look at the past and see what you have done and what the world was like. With your past experience, you can change the future so much. So for more information, just visit this link provided here. So that will be all for this tonight discussion. Thank you. Rang,
Oy, stop na ako ah.
sige.